This video is about organisational economics. There's a fond saying of Americans, and it should be adopted throughout the Western world. Wherever this flag's flown, we take care of our own. Ron Paul has been criticised on podiums constantly by media people about his solutions for the problems with healthcare, central banking, and the monetary system in the United States. So much so that you get the feeling that the media don't really want to recognise that he is running in the GOP race, and the GOP is the Republican Party. It means the Grand Old Party, which I will be doing a video on soon about its development and rival different philosophies and memes being ideas that recreate themselves, which my viewers will be familiar with the concept now. It was created by was thought up by Richard Dawkins. Of course, when memes are increasing throughout the sort of blogosphere or intellectual debate, in terms of that they are a confederacy of different ideas competing within themselves, and of course we always have the choice to use our own rationality and our own ability to make, within the context of the information we have, to make rational decisions, i.e. free will. Okay, so if you've got a situation though where the media are obviously, in the United States, a corporate media anyway, obviously are trying to put their case over because they may have commercial or political reasons for doing that, a community of interest rather than any sort of, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy or something like that, it's a community of interest. It's their jobs on the line. But they're attacking Ron Paul because he has identified a problem in a system that's supposed to be working well, which is obviously not working well. When a man is in a situation where he has a family to take care of, he is in a successful firm, in a successful job, when he has a house, maybe 2 houses, maybe 3 sports cars or something outside, 3 cars, in the good times. In America, life can be very good, as to whether the sort of Epicurean idea of has been taken into American psychology. Epicureanism coming from the Romans, about the idea of the Dolce Vita, meaning the virtuous life, the good life. It can be interpreted either in the Stoic way, the virtuous life, or the good life, meaning the pleasures. Those people, of course, in that time meant, a steak just well done, not eating so much steak that you're vomiting or something like that, which it is in some certain subcultures of America. It does happen. I've been to America many times. I can see how good life is out there, even in the sort of touristy areas. And the appeal for people to go to America to live. But you can also see, if you've gone through some parts where there are economic problems, Someone said about the Soviet Union that if you just kick the shiny door in, the whole rusty edifice would fall down. That person was wrong in the context of World War II, but eventually it did prove to be the case in terms of the European Union and the United States and Great Britain and Japan, the oceanic powers, the Western powers, including South Korea and Taiwan, of course, building up enough military and economic resources through military Keynesianism, which is the idea that you're producing around 4 to 7% of your budget is devoted to military expenditure, which then might be a sunk cost, as Eisenhower said. He said that a destroyer, for instance, might cost as much as 1 million bushels of wheat, which you have to make that economic choice, of course. But of course, in terms of military expenditure, it came back into the system. That's one part of the United States' expenditure. And the military expenditures are coming back into the system in terms of other products. You can debate as to whether those products have good utility for civilian use or not, but obviously, in terms of at least the Europeans and Japan, as I'll cover in my video on militarism, civil military expenditures and civil militarism, i.e. the use of civilian technology, has actually increased now to the point where the civil technology is actually greater than in quality and in volumes than military expenditure, military technology. You can see that people all over the world, especially the Chinese with cyber warfare, are adapting civil technology to military means, so the trend is reversed. For the first time since the Romans, who had good military technology, but their civil and engineering technology and productive technology was far greater in sophistication. That's what I'm trying to get at. But the problem, obviously, that Ron Paul is talking about is the whole interconnectedness of the system that is military Keynesianism, and the way that people who call themselves Keynesians today would not actually recognise what Keynes said in his book. And of course, Ron Paul is talking about Hayek as a very free market enterprise, fundamentalist capitalist system, in opposition to Keynes. Okay, there is obviously foundations that are and connections between different economic tribes, you might say, different economic memes and different economic traditions. As I said in my Unified Theory of Money series, which this is the follow-on to, it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of what money is. Okay, so if you look at nature, flowers, for instance, bribe insects with pollen, pollen and nectar, to allow them to get insects to transfer information, genetic information, to other plants, and this is part of the idea of a sort of a trading type economy, a natural trading economy, rather than a purely predatory economy. That being that you're starting to build up a natural system of different species working together to a certain extent. There is still predation, of course, but you see that the predators are more organised and more social. So it's the development towards higher social intelligence, which eventually ended up with us, whether that was by God or evolution.